So in C sharp you have these 4 different loops: a while loop, do while loop, for loop and for each. Okay, so while loop and do while loop, they execute statements repeatedly. They execute a code block repeatedly as long as the given condition is returning a true value. But there is a difference between while and do while. In the while loop, we enter into while loop whenever if the condition is returning true value. But in the do while, irrespective of the given condition, at least once the loop gets executed, since the testing is done at the end of the loop. But in the while loop, in the beginning itself, we test it. Now next thing is what here? For loop. So for loop we use when we know exactly how many times we need to execute a code block. Now suppose I write like this for loop. So I may write this way: for loop followed by here initialize, then followed by here, this is nothing but initialization, then here we put a condition, then after that, so here some assignment. It may be incrementing or decrementing or something we do there. So normally this is the the format of for loop is something like this: for followed by it is initialized, it gets initialized here, then you have a condition, then some assignment. So we initialize something here, then after that may be tested with condition. If that is returning true value, whatever statements we write here, they get executed. So statement of statements, they get executed. Okay, so after that what happens here? Some assignment takes place, either it may be incrementing or decrementing, or it can be something else. Okay, so some kind of arithmetic operation, or it can be some different operation also that takes place. After that again condition is evaluated. So the loop continues as long as the condition is evaluating to true. So like this the for loop is going to be working. As we discussed yesterday, we can use break and continue even inside the for loop. So you can use anywhere, with a while loop, with do while loop, with for each loop you can use. So here the for loop you can use when you know how many times the loop has to be executed. So in such cases for loop is going to be useful. So there are different ways to repeat a code block, using a while loop, using do while loop, using for loop. Okay, sometimes what happens, even you can use go to statement, using go to also you can do it, but go to usage is not systematic. So that is actually against the writing the code in a neat and clean fashion. So that can be giving sometimes lot of trouble. So that's why we should avoid go to statement. But if required, still you can use the go to statement. With that you can make the control going back. So in the case of clock, we implemented same thing. We created a digital clock. In that we used go to statement. With that we went back to earlier code. So now today we are going to look into for loop and for each loop. For and for each loop we are going to look into that. For each we use in the case of collections. You can use a for each loop whenever you have a collection. So collection may be something like this. Here see, I have an integer array. I put something like here numbers. So numbers equal to, here I can initialize with 10, then 20, then 30, then 40. So in such cases, if you want to iterate over this collection, you can use for each loop. So with the help of for each loop, one by one element you can retrieve from this. Then here, whatever operation you want to do, you can do. So this is in the case of collections. Array is nothing but collection. That too, what type of collection that is? It is a aggregate homogeneous collection. Arrays in the C sharp are going to be aggregate homogeneous. That means similar data only you find. And once you create a size for the array, neither you can increase nor you can decrease it. Okay, so arrays are not dynamic, but language like JavaScript, in that arrays are going to be dynamic. But here they are not dynamic. They are going to be totally static. That means once you create an array with certain size, the size you cannot change. neither you can increase nor you can decrease the size for the arrays. And one more thing, arrays are implemented as objects in the C#. They are going to be treated as objects. So in the case of collections, we can use for each loop. Okay, but whenever we want to, deal with some other kind of things, you can use any one of those three different loops: a while loop, a do while loop, and for loop we can use. For each loop we can use only mean for collections. And one more thing, for each loop once you start, you always have to go forward only. Under no case you can go backward. So it is going to be forward scrolling, I can say. So with for each one by one element you can retrieve from the collection, then after that whatever you would like to do, you can do. So these are going to be total 4 loops we have as far as C# is concerned. Now let me use here a for loop, and with the help of for loop, what I do today, first of all what I do here, I enter date of birth. Okay, I can enter date of birth. So once date of birth is entered, so suppose I enter my date of birth as something like 10/5 followed by 1983, like this I enter. Okay, so till now today's date is how much here? It is like 22, and I'm writing in terms of DD MMY notation. So this is going to be 07, and I put here this one as, say this is 2000, how much? 16. So till now how many times I celebrated my birthdays, and on what day it was celebrated, I want to find out. Definitely birthday cannot be celebrated in the very first year. So from subsequent year onwards I can celebrate. Okay, so since my birth date, I was born on say 10/5/1993, then from subsequent year, from 1994 onwards, I can celebrate my birthday. So very first birthday is going to be on say 10/5/1994. Subsequent birthdays are going to be say 10/5/1995, 86, 87, like that it's going to be celebrated. So every year it may not be coming on the same day. It may not be same day of the week. Sometimes it may be on Sunday, sometimes on Monday, like that we get. Okay, so first of all we need to find out here on what birthday, on what weekday every year the birthday was celebrated. So that now we need to find out with the help of the code. So using code we need to find out on what weekday the birthday was celebrated every year. Since the date of birth to till now, till current date, how many times it was celebrated, we need to find out. So for that we use actually here a class called as DateTime class. So DateTime you have here. With the help of this DateTime you can manipulate date and time. DateTime.now can give you current date and time, and similarly you can create a DateTime object by passing the day, the month, the year, or else you can use here DateTime.parse. So using parse mechanism, you can be converting the given string into date and time. So I use here DateTime parse. Similarly, to get a new year, new date every time, I am going to do some arithmetic, date arithmetic. To the existing date object, I may be adding every year, every time any year. With the help of that I can get a new date. So this way I can iterate over the, loop. Then every year on what weekday I celebrated my birthday, I can find out. So let us first of all see with the for loop how it's going to be working. Now here go with a new project. It's a console application. Then give here name as birthdays. Click on OK. Then here inside this I declare something like this: DateTime, okay, DT DOB. I just declare something like this here, followed by DateTime DT current. Like this I created here two different variables. So first one is what exactly? date of birth, and second one is going to be current date and time. This equal to, you write it as date time followed by here date time dot now. So this can be giving you current date and time. So this can give us current date and time. Like this I created here first two different variables. The first one is DTDOB, second one is going to be DT current. Now next thing here I do like this, console dot write line. Then here I enter, please enter your birthday in, it is what exactly, I mean mm/dd then /YYY notation. So in this notation the date of birth must be entered. Okay, after that we need to now read it. So therefore here we should use now try catch block, because if you don't enter the date time in the proper way, it's going to be exception. Then write here catch, then exception EX. Use like this, then this way we do it. Okay, so DTDOB, now we need to get here. Then write DTDOB equal to, what we do here, date time, then dot, it is going to be parse. We can use here parse, with the help of parse we can find out here. So we can get the date from the keyboard. Then write here console dot read line. So using this we read line of data from keyboard, then assign to DTDOB. So we enter here the birthday in MMDDYYY notation. It's going to be having a month, a day and year. We got now DTDOB here. So next thing is what we need to write like this here. Write a for loop, then in the for loop write like this DTDOB of jumping there. So DTDOB equal to, write here DTDOB dot, say here add years, followed by 1 I put here. It can be giving you a new date time. So DTDOB equal to DTDOB dot add years. Then here first of all I am adding 1, then I keep there, here followed by I write here DTDOB less than, I write here this as DT current. So as long as it's less than or equal to DT current, it should work. Okay, then followed by here put a semicolon. Then here once again let us try to put this. Same thing we need to do here. Put here this way, then after that close one more bracket, then try to do this way here. Now we are getting exactly every time a new date and time. So here write system dot out dot println, sorry system dot, it's not system, console dot write line. I write this as console dot write line, then here I write this way. Okay. Zero was the weekday, for the date, we put like this, followed by this is here 1, and now we need to get here character day of week for this. Then here write DTDOB, then dot day of week. You can get here, it is nothing but day of week, which is a predefined one available to us, so we can use DT day of week, followed by here DTDOB, then dot toString we use. we can convert into string here. We use here toString, then here inside this we can use mmddyy notation. So put here dd, then slash we put here slash yyyy, like this we can use. Okay, so this way we are writing here the second argument also. This is with the help of the for loop. In the catch we write here console dot, then here it is write line, then put here ex dot message. Okay, so like this the code is written. At the end we put here console dot read line. Okay, console dot read line we can put it. Suppose the given day is a leap year. So in the case of leap year, it should show in the green color. Here see, what we do, we use an if condition, right here DTDOB dot is leap year. Is it leap year? We can check it. There should be okay, there is nothing like that I think available in this. So since it's not available, we cannot do much with that. Fine. So we don't do anything then in such cases. Otherwise we need to write our own logic. So why to write own logic? Just like this, we leave it. Now when you run this, it should print actually as per the entered date. It should print how many birthdays the person has celebrated. Okay, so on what day it was, it can give us. Let me run this program now here. I need to enter here. So I should enter in the mmddyy notation 05, then 10, then followed by 1983. I enter. So what it is showing here, it can show you like this. The very first day was coming on the Thursday, 1994, 85, 86, till what it is, till 10/5/2016 it's giving us. Till then it's actually giving us. So this way we are finding out on what was the weekday every year the person has celebrated birthday, it's giving us here. Okay, so this way we could get actually here the weekdays. On what weekday it was celebrated, we could find from this. So this program is giving you that particular result. So it is nothing but here for loop. So using for loop we could do it. In the case of for loop, first of all what I do, DTDOB equal to DTDOB dot add years 1. 1 year I add to the existing one. So I can get a new date and time. Then what I do, I can compare it with the current date and time. So current date and time is going to be DateTime dot now. Right now what the time is, that with that I am comparing the earlier time. So as long as this is returning true value, it comes into this, then it prints here. After that this will be getting incremented. With the help of this code, here I am writing this piece of code. With the help of this code, I am going to print here. So far the person has celebrated, whatever birthdays the person has celebrated, those weekdays of the birthday are being shown here. They are shown here, with the given date of birth. Till now, how many birthdays the person celebrated, we are getting here. Okay, so like this is actually working. Now for example, if the person is celebrating on weekdays, okay, so say for example weekend is going to be Saturday or Sunday. So in such cases, he may not take leave. Normally when the person is celebrating birthday, they try to take the leave. If they are celebrating on Saturday or Sunday, so in such cases no special leave is required. That we need to find out here. That we are going to be finding out here. For that I would like to here define a method, a static method I define. At the same time I am going to here create an extension method. There is a concept called as extension method. Right now if you look at the date time, in the date time what is happening, you have only few predefined methods. If you go with the dt current, you can find only few predefined methods. Okay, so these methods are available. Suppose now I want to add a new method, I want to use with the existing data type. with the date time I want to use it. So how to do that? For that purpose, I can define an extension method. The extension method can be used in the current application. In current application, I can use it. So therefore, I am going to here define a new method. So extension method I define. So with the help of extension method, what I can do, I can enhance the existing date time with new capability. So without changing code for the existing data type here, I can provide one more facility. I can enhance the capacity of the date time here. Okay, so for that I can write here an extension method. Extension method is a method. So with the help of that, you can actually, make the current data type more and more powerful. So such method I am going to do now in this. Okay, extension methods can be written only in the static classes. I need to define here therefore another class. Here write static followed by, always jumps like this is too much. Here I write class static class followed by here I write, okay, I would like to write this as extensions. Just make extensions this one. Now inside this I would like to define a method. So that's going to be here, it's going to be, say, I can write public, then this is here static followed by day of week. It's an enumeration we can give here, then followed by, okay, we write here this as bool, this one, a bool we write, is it weekend? Is it weekend? Like this I write it. Is it weekend followed by, I can specify here the date time. Date time dt I can give here. So date time dt I can give here followed by I use here this operator. Okay, I am going to write here this date, I can write this way. Then followed by, I can actually, it should be returning some value. Okay, here write if condition we use dt dot, so dt dot here weekday dot toString dot followed by compare to, I can use compare to, then here I write Saturday equal to 0, or I can put like this. One other thing is what here, it's going to be, or compared to Sunday, one more thing here, so if it is equal to 0 again, so in such cases here return true, else it should be returning a false value. Write it as return false. Like this it should be working for us. So this is called as here an extension method. I am going to write is it weekend, an extension method. This method I can use inside the code. So this is called as here an extension method. This is an extension method. We call this as extension method here. Now let us try to write in this. Okay, you put here if condition, now write dt dob dot you put. Now if you put dot, Just try to go with this. You can find now here, is it weekend? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing here this one? So is it weekend method is available to us. Prior to this it was not available, but now you can see is it weekend. So with the existing data type is getting attached here. This is called as extension method. Only in this particular application, so only in this application it is available, this method. If you go to some other application, it will not be available. Okay, so in the current application you can enhance the capability of the existing type of data with a new method. So now with this you can find out, is it weekend? Okay, is it weekend? In such cases we show with the green color here, console dot, here write foreground color, this equal to console color. Okay, we can use console color here, then dot, this is going to be dark green, you can use it. A green color we can set, else what we do here, this one is a method. I should have two brackets, otherwise it gives error. So otherwise it's going to be normal black color. So this is here dot black, I can write here. So this way I am setting the color. If it is a weekend, in such cases it comes in the green color, otherwise it comes in the black color. Like this it's going to show. When you execute, I enter like here this one 05, then 10 followed by 1963, I enter here. When I press enter key, it shows like this something. So other days it's not showing. Reason, there also it is black color. So foreground is black color and background is also black color. Due to that you cannot see anything. But if you change into white, now here you can get everything perfectly. You put white here. Now when you run this, you can get definitely the result. Now here take this as 510, then 19, say this is 83. Like this I can enter. Now you can see. Okay, so whenever it is Saturday or Sunday, it's coming in the green color. Otherwise, it's coming in the, say, otherwise it is being shown in the normal white color. So like this application is working. Okay, so sometimes it shows in the green whenever it is weekends, Saturday or Sunday. So in such cases, it's coming up with the green color. Otherwise, it's shown with the white color. And when you look at this, what is happening, see, the white is looking a little bit advanced and green is looking a little bit behind. When you see clearly how it looks, actually white is little bit advanced and whereas green is actually little bit behind. So using this concept only, red color is formed. With the help of this only we can make actually the red and black, red color and black color, with the help of this we can go with the 3D here. So using this concept you can go with the 3D, 3 dimensions you can make using the receding color and advancing color. Even if you look at the frequency of these, so wavelength of these colors changes. So here using that concept only normally 3D is made. So here also when you look at clearly, the white is actually much advanced whereas green is actually in the behind. You can see white is looking like actually some advanced, that means it's in the front, whereas green is in the back. So using this we can make actually the 3D effects. So this is what exactly we have used for loop. With the help of that we are finding out here the weekday of the birthday. Here every year on what date it was celebrated, we are finding out with the help of this code. And here we used a for loop. So with the help of for loop we could do this here. Using for loop, and other thing is what we used here, say DateTime class. Then similarly we were parsing from the command line data into DateTime object. Then after that here we are comparing date and time. And one more thing what we used, we actually performed some date arithmetic, dt.dob.add years, one I said. So here what is happening, one year is added, a new date time you are getting. So like this we have written code. With the help of this code we are performing here some date arithmetic, and here we are getting every year on what weekday the person has celebrated birthday, it's being given here. So this is what exactly a program with a for loop. At the same time, we are using here a DateTime also. So DateTime class also, DateTime data type we use. With that, we enter data from the keyboard. The date is stored in the DateTime object. After that, with the help of for loop, we are finding out every year on what day exactly the person has celebrated birthday. And one another thing is what we have written here, an extension method. This is called an extension method. So here you can write code like this: public static bool is it weekend, then followed by you must use here this keyword. So when you use this keyword, it can be working with the date time here. Since you specify data type as here date time, this can be working with the date and time there. Okay, so like this I have written extension method. So this extension method I applied with the here DTDOB. So using that I am finding out whether particular year, date, day, month and year, are they falling on any weekday. If they are falling on any weekend, in such cases I am formatting with the green color, otherwise it's going to be as usual white color. So like this the code is working for us. So this is for the for loop. Okay, now next thing is what we now look into a for each loop. This is for loop and we can look into a for each loop now. Okay, so we are going to try a for loop with the for each loop with the arrays. See, C# supports 3 different types of arrays. So it supports actually 3 different types of arrays. One dimensional, then second thing is 2 or multi-dimensional, one more is actually jogged array. So one dimensional, then 2 or more than 2 dimensions, and one more is what here, a jogged array or ragged array or variable length array. Okay, normally arrays are fixed in size. So in the case of one dimensional, you can think it as multiple rows with one column or just one row with multiple columns. It's up to you how you want to see. You can see that it can be treated as just one row, so one row with multiple columns, or it can be multiple rows with only one column. In either of the ways you can actually visualize it as far as the one dimensional array is concerned. Now similarly you can do with the two dimensional arrays. So in the case of the two dimensional arrays, each and every row can contain equal number of columns. So in one row you can't have 10 columns, in the other row you can't have 5 columns. Like that you cannot have under normal two dimensional. So, but in the case of jogged array, what happens? Suppose you have 10 rows. In the first row you can have some 10 columns, in the second row you can have only 2 columns, in the third row you can have again 10 columns. So like that number of columns can change from one row to another row. That concept is called as a jogged array or ragged array or variable length array. Even in the Java we have same concept. Even in Java we have same concept. So the second dimension can be changing. So that means what? In every row you may not have same number of columns. But under regular arrays, what happens? If you declare an array with more than one dimension, suppose you declare two-dimensional array, each and every row must contain same number of columns as far as a regular array is concerned. But a variable length array, what it does exactly? It can hold different number of columns for different rows. So that is the beauty of actually variable length array. Under different cases, we can use variable length arrays. Now let us look into arrays. As you know, arrays are nothing but they are the collections for holding homogeneous data. Not different type of data, similar data you can put in the arrays. It may be integer array, it may be DateTime array, or it may be, say, it can be a character array, it can be anything. So arrays are going to be normally like that. Now let us try to write a program on arrays. And whenever you create an array object, you can use one property method called as length. With the help of the length, how many elements are totally available in the array you can get. Or you can use getLength. With the help of getLength also you can get. But in the case of getLength, you need to specify the dimension. Suppose you have only one dimensional array, in such cases, getLength of 0 you need to give. Similarly, if it is actually two dimensional, 0 gives you number of columns, 1 can give you in that number of columns. See, the 0 gives you number of rows and 1 gives you number of columns. So like that, with the help of the getLength, you can find out how many rows are there, how many columns are there. or I can say in general in the given dimension how many elements are available. You can find out with the help of the getLength method. Now let me here write a sample program with the arrays. So this is going to be here C# arrays. I put like this here. It's going to be a C# arrays program in which I define now an array. Okay. So here what I do, I declare an array. The array I try to use in a method. In a particular method I am going to be using it. So I declare array like this. It is going to be static. I write like this, followed by string array I declare here. String array I can declare, then here it is going to be, I can put here something like this, 0, I put like this. Then followed by here I can write 1. Then I can write here 2. Okay, then here what I do, 3 I write. Then followed by here it is 4 I am going to write here. Then this is here 5. Then this is going to be here some 6 I put here. Then this will be here 7. Then I write here 8. Then I am going to write this as 9. So there are going to be total 10 elements in the given array. I am going to have here 10 elements in the array. So here I declared an array. So the declaration is wrong here. Followed by here I put digit words. Like this I can make an array, even I am initializing them here. So I am initializing them. Digit words I declared. What is the problem in this? Expected. What is expected in this? We are closing at the end. String array. No, this is correct only. We are using in the same way. It can't be anything like that. Fine, I put like this, new, then this is going to be here, string, I put like this. But I can initialize like this, there is nothing, no problem with that. Straight away I should be in a position to initialize them. New string equal to, I should be writing this without any difficulty. Why it is giving error here? Okay, digit words equal to, it should take data. Why it is giving error like this? Why it says expected? No, nothing is required that way. Static string. So array I am making it, I am initializing it. String array I am trying to make in this. Then here I am assigning the value in this class program.
I think in my computer, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
I don't know what you call the bracket, the normal bracket we use, like see the sign, the namespace C# arrays and then bracket. I use that bracket and there is no complaint on my computer.
Yes, let me tell you the reason. It's correct only in this.
No, I mean like on the before that one. Yep.
Correct.
Other one. Yep, exactly.
Like this you need to put. Fine. So now here I made like this. This is going to be a static array. This contains here now 10 elements. So very first element you can access using 0 digit, 0 number, 1 number, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is having total 10 elements inside this. Very first element we can access using index 0. Subsequent elements we can access using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. There are going to be 10 elements. Now here I would like to find out, I want to convert the given number into words. I just try to convert the given number into words. So for that purpose, I write a method here. I write like this, static, then I write here string followed by, this one is num2 words. This is the method I am going to write here, followed by int num I write. This is the number I would like to convert into words. I should not write too much code. It should be very simple code. With that we should do it. We should not use actually too much code in this. So here I use a string builder. String is mutable, string is immutable, string builder is mutable. That means once you create string variable, you cannot modify in the case of string. But if it is string builder, in such cases you can modify that. So here inside this I am using string builder. String builder SB equal to, it is here new string builder I do like this. It is initially empty. We don't have any data inside that. At the end I write like this. I am going to write this return followed by here sb.toString. I am going to write this one as sb.toString. I am going to convert this into here a string and returning there. Now here inside this I want to write this piece of code. If I write here num, so what I write, greater than 9. So in such cases I am going to call again same thing, sb.append. Okay, sb.append I write here followed by, I put a space here, then put here word, followed by again I am going to call this num2 words, followed by this time I take num here, num divided by 10, like this I use it. So recursively I am going to be calling this particular thing here. I am going to call this one recursively in this. So next thing what I do here, now once again sb.append here, sb.append, again I take here space, then put like this here, followed by, I just want to go with the, see now I take actually the num percent followed by here this one 10, but from where we should take, it should be from the digit words. So from digit words I should take it, then I put here num percent 10, then close the bracket and append like this. At the end we are going to be returning. So this is the code. With the help of this we can convert the given number into words. Now here let me enter like this, console.writeLine, please enter any number which I convert into a word. Okay, so like this it's giving a prompt. Now declare here int, then say num here followed by here write. So we use a try block here, try and catch or required always, then followed by here catch, then write this exception ex. Okay, then after that write here console.read key. With that we can make it getting, it's going to be waiting for our input. Now num equal to write console int.parse, then write it console dot read line, we put it. console.readLine we are going to put like this. After that, if everything is fine, we write like this: console.writeLine when 0 converted into words, we put a colon here. After that, we pass the num as parameter. Then here in the next line write console.writeLine. Then here it is the method I am going to call. What is that method exactly? Num2 words I call here. I go to this, then write here num2 words, followed by here pass the number, num let us put. Okay, like this. Now let us try to print it. So using this we can convert the given number into words without without writing too much code. With simple code you can get it. Now execute it. I want to enter some 1, 3, 4, 5. It says here 1, 3, 4, 5 for us. When 1, 3, 4, 5 convert into words, it says here 1, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, what I do here is, suppose if I don't put this, what will happen? Let me see here. Okay, when I run this, I enter 1003. So that's the problem we get with that. So therefore here I think we don't require space. But here I think a space is required. If I enter some 1002, it prints here 1002. Okay, similarly, if we enter something like 9802, it should give us 9802. So with the help of this code, we can achieve this here conversion of the number into words. So using, this is called as a recursion. Recursively, you are calling this. This is called as a recursion. So using recursive mechanism, we could do this. We are doing this with the help of the recursion. Now similarly, what happened here? Something I type is a problem with it. Okay. Similarly, suppose this is fine. So this is going to be recursion. So recursively this is getting called. As long as the number is greater than 9, repeatedly this is getting called here, and with the help of that we can actually form the word using this string array here. On the top we have a string array. So in the string array, very first element is 0, next element is 1, then third element is 2, like this we have here. Because remainder possibility is how much here when you try to divide with 10, either it may be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, like that you get. So that remainder I am mapping with the indices of these digit words. So using that I could easily convert the given number into words here. So this way this program is working for us.